welcome back to the Love Hannah Show. I'm your host Janet Kaluki. In case you're new here, this is the chat corner. Guys, first of all, I would like to wish you a happy 2023. Today on the chat corner, I'll be discussing about important issues couples should discuss before getting married. First of all, I am married and this is my 4th year in marriage. First thing on that list is religion. You need to talk about religion and the role it plays in both your individual lives. For me personally, religion was very important because I was raised in a Christian family, and I wanted to bring my kids, the same way, instill the same values that were instilled in me by my parents. I wanted to instill the same values to my children. I actually wanted to marry someone that will share the same faith and beliefs, so that it will be a bit easier for me when it comes to children upbringing, and also, I felt like we won't have me and my partner, that we won't have a lot of conflict, especially when it comes to raising kids. Yeah. You also need to talk about how are you going to fund your lifestyle as a couple? Who is going to pay for this and that? You need to agree. If you're going to chuck a percentage of your income and then put it in either a joint account, whatever you agree on, or open a joint account or a separate account whereby you put all the money. You need to agree on the percentage, like who is going to pay for what. If you say 50-50, that's okay with you. If it's 20-30, whatever percentage you agree on, but you really need to agree on that, so that you can know like how you're going to fund your lifestyle. Who is going to pay for rent? Who is going to buy food? Who is going to pay for utilities like electricity, water bills? Who is going to, you also need to buy clothes and all that. Like how are you going to manage your money as a couple? Another thing you need to talk about before on money, on the finances bit, is how to we already talked about how to fund your lifestyle. Another thing you need to talk about is if you have debt, or do you have any liabilities that your partner doesn't know. You need to disclose that early. You need to tell your partner if you have loans and how much is that. If you have a mortgage that you haven't finished paying for, you need to tell your partner about that. You also need to tell your partner if you have any current projects, like for example you're building a house somewhere or a rental apartment somewhere. You need to tell them about it earlier still. And you also need to, and even if you're buying a new car, you need to tell them, I have a new project, probably I am buying a new car, or whatever you're doing, but you need to talk about it as early as possible. You also need to talk about the role. You need to talk about how you also need to talk about savings and investments, because I know there are people out there who would tell you like, tumia pesa ikizoea in Swahili. So if you're a person who is more of savings and investing, so you need to talk about it early so that you can know like where you stand with your partner, and also the measures that you're going to take afterwards. Because as a couple, for you to grow, you need to have you have to invest first of all, because you cannot rely on whatever income you have, whether if you're employed or whether you have a company. You need to have other sources of income so that you can survive, and also you can be able to just not only survive but also thrive in your marriage. So talk about investment and saving. Guys, you need to set timelines. You need to agree with your partner. How long are we dating? And after how long are we going to get married? So, for example, if you agree after 2 years we are going to get married, then you have to You have to set the timeline, and also you have to agree on what type of wedding do you want. Do you want a customary wedding? Do you want a church wedding? Do you want to go to the AG to sign for the certificate and all that? Whatever you agree on, that you have to agree on. And also on the matters of marriage, the type of wedding that you want, how are you going to fund the wedding? You also need to talk about that. You need to agree with your partner. For example, you might be having money that you have that you would like to use for the wedding. There's no problem about that, but you have to talk about it. Like, if you want a wedding, how are you going to fund it? How are we going to raise money for the wedding, so that we can be able to afford whatever kind of wedding that you settle on. You also need to, if you don't have money that you can use, you also need to agree, do we have our parents sponsor the wedding? Yeah, if you're comfortable with that, and if your parents are able to sponsor your wedding, then that is something that you can also agree on. Another thing is that if you're not able, if you don't have savings, or you don't have money that you can use for your wedding, and your parents are not able to sponsor your wedding, then you can also think about saving. Like, if you said like you're going to get married in 2 years, then you can start saving for those 2 years. Like, have a plan to save for 2 years, and then you agree on how much each of you're going to chuck out, so that you can be used as savings, or you can put in the saving account, so that at the end of the 2 years you have money that you can use for your wedding. So if you're not able to do that as well, you can also ask, or if the money that you're going to save won't be enough, depending on the type of wedding that you want, you can also ask for, you have to agree with your partner if you're going to ask for your relatives to contribute towards the wedding, or also ask your friends on this thing. Yeah. So we said, like, when it comes to marriage or wedding, you need to agree on the type of wedding, set timelines on when to get married, how to fund the wedding, and also, when it comes to dowry, talk about it, and how you feel as individuals about dowry and everything else. Okay, another thing you need to talk about is children and parenting. Yes, guys, I know it's a very sensitive issue, but you need to talk about it as early as possible. Yeah, so you need to agree on how many kids do you want to have as a couple, and the spacing. How long are you going to wait when you have one kid to the next one? Do you have like a gap of 2 years or 3 years? You need to agree as well on that. And you and your partner, you need to be on the same page on that. Don't be like one wants 5 kids, the other one wants 3. As in, you have to come to a middle ground, or on a place where you are on the same page, on a point where you agree, like, okay, I wanted 5, but let's have 4, so that you can all be comfortable with that. Like, you also need to air out issues. Why do you want like 5 kids? Why do I want 1? Why do I want 3? And then you can be very considerate and be very open when it comes to this, because it's for your own good as a couple. So when on children and parenting, you also need to agree on type of family planning that you're going to use. Like we talked about children spacing, you need to agree on the family planning that you both want to start researching on it, ask questions, go to doctors, go for checkups, to make sure that you're also to make sure that you're also ready for bearing children. And then you also need to talk about the possibilities or impossibilities of you having kids or not, because it's not like a guarantee like you can be a mother or a father. Sometimes there are cases out there where you are unable to sire kids. So what happens when you are not able to sire kids? You need to talk to your partner as early as possible. I know some of you might lash me out or even tell me that we shall get to that bridge, we shall know what to do when we get to that bridge, or we shall cross that bridge when we get there. But I think this is something very important that you really need to talk about it, and then even seek guidance, go to checkups, talk to counselors, because it's a very very sensitive. I don't even want to dwell much on it, but you need to look for more ways. What are the alternatives that you might like to consider if you are unable to sire kids? You need to talk about them. Talk about them. That is what I insist on. Discuss them while you're dating. Discuss them. Bring those topics up because they are very important. Yeah. So another thing also on parenting is, how are you going to bring your kids up? What are some of the basic behaviors that you would like to instill in your kids? So you need to talk about them early. Like, how are you going to discipline them? You need to talk about it with your partner as early as possible. So talk about these things, guys. Another thing that you need to discuss before getting married is where to live. Yes, you need to agree on where to stay as a couple. You need to agree on the town or the city or the country, and I want to encourage you guys, when it comes to where to stay, you need to be very very open-minded and flexible, because at the end of the day, it's going to be for both of you, the good of the marriage, and for both of you. You need to also be considerate when, for example, if you are asked to sacrifice something, or be able. The point is, just be open and flexible. Yes. Another thing you need to discuss before getting married is basic behaviors. Guys, talk about when to get home, because now you are married and you have equal rights to your home, and no one should override the other. You need to set these basic behaviors. I wouldn't say like there are rules, but you need to talk about them. Like, is it comfortable for someone to come home in the morning or in the middle of the night? Like, talk about them in that way. Like, this is when people should come home or get home, because at the end of the day, when you become parents, kids are going to watch how you behave, and they will still behave the same way, because I believe children learn more through observation instead of what you tell them to do. Make sure that you discuss about it in details. When to come home, when to have dinner, visitation by relatives. Before you need to agree with your partner. Before a relative comes over to your place, they need to inform you. And once as a couple, one of you is informed by the relative about coming over, you need to tell your partner. Like, for example, I'll tell my husband, like, my mom will be coming over the weekend, or my sister. Tell them like prior, earlier, so that they can be mentally prepared, and also they can be aware. It's good for you to inform your partner. And also visitation by one relative. Another thing is visitation by your friends, because now that you are married, when you get married, you become one, and so you need to be very very keen on things that may come out as disrespect to your partner. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video. I really enjoyed talking about or discussing it with you. I hope you're going to enjoy it as well. Thank you very much. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly please consider subscribing. See you in the next one. Bye bye.